My name is Joe Fafard. I'm the sculptor that is responsible for this work here in the gallery tonight, the Winchester Gallery on Oak Bay Street, Avenue. And I'm here for the opening tonight.
Okay. Can you tell us about your work? A little bit about...
Working a long time. I started art school when I was 20, and I got a degree, a bachelor's degree, then I got a master's degree in Pennsylvania. Then I came back to Regina and started teaching in Regina, and I taught for 5 years in Regina. Then I decided to just go freelancing on my own, and I started doing ceramic portraits of people and animals and stuff like that. And I am still doing that, although I have shifted over to bronze in 1985 when I opened up a foundry, and this is where this work has been cast. So I constantly make sculptures of various things, various ways and whatnot. I also do prints, and I do laser cutouts and stuff like that. I have a few examples here in this show of the laser cutouts, but mostly what I have in this show are bronze castings. Some are done with patina and some are done with powder coating. The ones outside, there is a large one at the door of a calf that is much larger than a real calf. And then there's a cutout of a horse on the other side of the gallery that is a laser cutout in aluminum sheet, and that has been powder coated as well. So I always try to get the life of the animal, of the individual animal, to come out of the piece, or to get something that is kind of living in the piece that will resonate with people. So here, just at the door here, I have this calf of Holstein calf, and it is powder coated. It is about life size, but it is of a calf that has maybe a month in age. And so I did this piece as a sculpture that can go outside. I wanted to feel like a very living thing. But then I did a portrait of a boxer over here that is called the pugilist, that is of a very courageous man who will stand up and try to punch somebody else in the face and avoid being punched in the face at the same time. But I see in him his tiredness and his sweat and his striving for results and for so I decided to do this portrait of a boxer, not in action but in between action, where he is trying to catch his breath and trying to get up enough energy to stand up again and to box another round. So it's a little bit like everybody has problems, has difficulties, but you have to work hard to overcome them. So it's a portrait of a person, but many of my portraits are of other animals. Like, for instance, in the other room here, I have a few wild animals as well as some domestic animals. I have over there a coyote, and I have a caribou. These are Canadian animals that live in the wild, but we also have in Canada many things like this horse, this calf over here, the lamb, the things, and I try to do some representation of the animal that will give respect to the animal, that will respect their space their spirit, their reason for being. And I think it's very important in our world as humans that we start being very conscious of the other earthlings, because the animals are other earthlings that have evolved at the same time or even before us on this planet, and they have a right to it. And what we should make sure that the success of our species does not make the ruin of all the other species. Because if we do, it'll be the ruin of our own species as well. You know, it's very practical. This is a statue I did of Louis Jobin. Louis Jobin was a sculptor who carved in wood in the 19th century. He began. He's a distant relative of mine, and he carved many statues of cigar store Indians, of saints, and of ships' masts and stuff like that. He was a very hard-working man, worked all his life for very little pay, but he managed to do some great work in the meantime. And he was related to my grandfather in Quebec. My grandfather came from the same village as Louis Jobin, and my grandfather's mother was named Victoria Jobin. So I thought I would do a portrait of this man who is almost in rags and working hard, and he's 80 years old. And a little bit over here, I have some little animals of horses and calves and a little bear that is greeting things here. I always like to make some smaller things as well as larger things, because not everybody has the same wallet, and so if they can't afford a large piece, they might be happy to get a small piece. So I have that as well. And over here I have a portrait I did of my father. My father was a farmer, and he lived a very honorable life, worked all his life to provide for us. We were a family of 12 children. I was number 6. We were 6 boys and 6 girls. And he provided for us, and we worked on the farm. He taught us great values, great ways to be, and he taught us how to respect everybody. So I really felt very strongly about doing this portrait of my father. My father passed away in 1972. It's been a long time since I've had a conversation with him, but I had good conversations with him when he was alive.